Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Die in the Dungeon. This is a pre-early access build, so everything that you're about to see is most definitely subject to change. The game is due out on early access February 21st, 2025. So this is a Slay the Spire-esque kind of game, but rather than build a deck of cards, you're going to be building a bag of dice. I like stuff like that. So it's got meta progression, in the sense that as you continue playing the game, you'll be unlocking new relics and new dice types and different things like that. There's also a couple of different characters that you can unlock as well. Unfortunately, there's no permanent progression skill tree where your next run is guaranteed to be much better because you're throwing points into this or throwing points into that. It's not like that. It's just you're unlocking more stuff. And that's both good and bad. I mean, you'll run across more powerful things as you unlock them, which will help you in your future runs, but you're not always guaranteed to get them either. So that's one thing I don't like about these style of games, in that, yeah, unlocking things is cool, but then you start getting bogged down by all sorts of cool new effects, and you don't know what to chain off what. Sometimes you can't guarantee getting these things anyway. So like Slay the Spire, you've got this map that you're going to be traversing, and you're going to be doing battle. You can go to a shop and buy things. You can go to a campfire and heal. And typically the way this game plays out during combat anyway, is that you draw a hand of dice. And typically you have abilities that allow you to draw more from your bag. But typically you've got so many action points. And some dice take 1 action point to play. Some cost 2, some cost 0, which is kind of cool. And in the beginning, you're just throwing dice on this grid without a care in the world. But as you level these dice up and start seeing cool new effects, you'll have to be strategic in where you're placing them on the grid. On occasion, you'll come across special events that'll help you out. Like I said, there are relics that you can get in this game, and these are just passive bonuses that your character will have for the rest of that run. Typically, these events, just pick the one that you like. I always pick the permanent, relics, because they're going to help me with every single thing from here on out. There's also various shops that you'll come across, and my favorite thing to do here is to upgrade your dice. You can increase the dice faces on your dice at the cost of coin. So like in Slay the Spire and other games, you can spend your coin that you're earning to do cool things, buy relics, but also upgrade your dice. And this typically involves okay, this dice face has a 1, a 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 3. I'm going to upgrade these dice faces up to 6 times. So that's really cool. And over time, you'll start getting into dice that oh, this boosts. It doesn't do anything but boost. So it'll boost this square, this square, this square. So now I can put something in here to make this other die stronger. Or, oh, this enemy has a status effect on this spot. I shouldn't put a die here. Or maybe this boss's minion, you have to put an attack die there on this spot in order to attack it. So you're going to be coming across more complicated things as you go. And these dice will chain off each other. Like the one blue one I got, it's like a group die effect. For every blue die that you have with that other blue die, the rest of those blue dice get stronger. So it's a question of how you're going to build everything. I personally like the dice that not permanently, but for the next several turns, they buff a particular square to give it a +3 or +4 modifier. So that in the future, whenever you put a die on that spot, it's just inherently more powerful. It adds +4 to the die that you put there in the future. But then it goes away over time slowly. I like those dice because on turns where you're not doing much, you can at least use your terrain dice, as they're called, to make spaces stronger on your grid, so that on future turns you can make the dice count, as it were. And I will say, I enjoyed playing this, but again, this is a pre-early access build, so I have a feeling that, balance changes are gonna be introduced at some point. I found the game to be fairly difficult. I didn't even get past the first map yet, but that being said, you're going to be unlocking more and more and more things, so it's possible that those dice that I'm unlocking will serve me well in future runs. But I do like the strategic element, and I think what intrigues me the most is that I can put different status effects on my dice. So, this die not only does like a cleave attack, but it'll also put this poison effect on the enemy when I do it. Or this dice is free and will automatically buff the squares that are 2 spaces away from it. So, like, I love those dice. I love the free dice. And I can even add status effects like you get a free reroll on this die. So if you're constantly rolling 1s, you get a free reroll out of it. And you're not guaranteed to roll anything better than a 1, of course, on that reroll, but it's there. So you can add special effects like that to your dice. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a preferred meta at some point as to what abilities are strongest, but I look forward to seeing all the different play styles and combinations that players are going to come up with regards to this. But again, this is a pre-early access build, so I'm going to reserve judgment until like the game's actually finished. But it is fun, so go check it out if you like these style of games. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.